Hi! The creative community surrounding FS2020 has been hard at work since my last Top 7 add-ons video, so it's time to catch up with the latest and greatest new mods. There'll be no scenery add-ons in this video. It's focused on free applications and a couple of aircraft. I want to give a shout out to all the amazing creators out there working on these FS2020 mods. I have nothing to do with the creation of these mods. They're all owned by their respective creators that have generously offered them up to the community at large for free. As always, you'll find links to these mods in the description of this video. If you're unsure as to how to install a mod into FS2020, you'll also find a link to my liveries video that covers the installation of mods and liveries into FS2020. Starting with something light, we have the hot air balloon created by Eggman28 over at Flight Sim Squadron. This plugin offers a beautiful rendition of a classic hot air balloon. I love the basket and the classic rainbow livery look of this thing. It even has some fuel tanks and gauges inside the basket. This balloon is perfect for sightseeing in the classic fashion at places like Santa Barbara, or get your friends together and recreate the classic Albuquerque, New Mexico Balloon Festival. It's a great way to see the sights and just relax. I recommend starting your flight already in the air with this. Slew is a great way to control the balloon. If you're not familiar with that FS2020 feature, there's a link to my guide video in the description as well. Make sure you cut the throttle, as it'll have a ton of forward momentum, and you'll need to set the trim at about -0.08 to get it from going out of control. It's a real challenge to control it, and switching to the legacy FSX flight model can help here as well. Eggman offers a paid version as well that includes a set of liveries, burner animations, as well as some sound effects, and it's also linked in the description. It's just two guys making these, along with the B25 that I profiled next here, and they're happy to take donations for their hard work. Even just $1 will help them out if you can afford it. Another wonderful add-on offered by Eggman28, again over at Flight Sim Squadron, is their rendition of the iconic North American aviation B25-Mitchell Bomber. Introduced in 1941 and named in honor of Major General William "Billy" Mitchell, it served in every theater of World War II by all of the Allied forces. By the end of its production run in 1945, nearly 10,000 of them had been built, and it was in continuous operation in one form or another for 4 decades until the last example was retired in 1979. This model lacks a functional interior or working gauges, but it still offers a phenomenal view out of the windows. It looks truly majestic in the sim, and hey, it's free. Its flight model is pretty twitchy, but you won't want to switch it to the FSX flight model with this, as that'll make it very tough to control. Just stick with the regular modern flight model. Over at NeoFly.net, content creator NeoLord has created a stunning career plugin for FS2020 that allows you to become the bush pilot you've always dreamed you could be. The feature set on this plugin is just crazy. It really creates a whole new world for you to explore in FS2020 and will also help you drive up your flight skills at the same time. NeoFly uses SimConnect to talk to FS2020, which is also linked in the description under LittleNavMap. Looking at the set of features offered, it includes 10 bush missions that cover such things as cargo and passenger flights, as well as illicit delivery and night flights. It can simulate flight emergencies and allows you to acquire experience to expand your opportunities in the career. You can explore 2 different career modes called Normal and Sandbox. You can even hire pilots to do missions for your bush company, rent planes to do missions, and aircraft management will impact your outcomes as well. I've just scratched the surface of this plugin. There's a lot more to it. NeoLord has also developed a nice PDF guide to using this system, as well as a tutorial video. It's truly a professional level plugin that's amazingly free. So a huge tip of the hat to NeoLord. It's clear that he spent a lot of time and love on this add-in. While this add-in is completely free, consider tossing him a donation on his website if you're enjoying his hard work in this amazing plugin. Pilot Path Recorder, or FS2020 Plane Path, is a standalone open-source utility authored by user S.A. Horowitz that will take a recording of your flight in 3 dimensions and allow you to review it using the free Google Earth application. You can experience a replay of your flight in 3 dimensions and even in first person. It's a great tool to have since FS2020 doesn't support any kind of flight replay yet. This is a really cool little program and the final result is pretty amazing. Additionally, the ability to see your actual flight path in 3 dimensions in Google Earth can be extremely instructive in allowing you to analyze your flights and review any issues you may have encountered. Once you download the application, open the folder and launch the FS2020 Plane Path application. Then launch FS2020 and get your flight set as you want to start it. Now Alt-Tab over to the FS2020 Plane Path application that you just launched and tell it to retry the connection to the sim. And once it's connected, click the Start Logging button. Now fly as you normally would, and once you're done with your flight, Alt-Tab back to the FS2020 Plane Path app. Tell it to stop logging. Now you'll have an entry in this log window for the file. You can click on it to select it, then click on the Browse button to tell it where you want to save it. I'll use my desktop for this demo. Now you can select compatibility with either the Google Earth application or the web version of Google Earth, and then tell it to create the KML or Keyhole Markup Language flight path file. Once you've saved your KML file, load up the Google Earth application, load the KML file like so. Now you can see your flight path in 3 dimensions in Google Earth, and you can go into first person and replay the path. It also displays the path as you replay it like this. This plugin is highly recommended. S.A. Horowitz has done a superb job with this. While I covered the Liveries Megapack in my last Top 7 video, I felt it deserved another place here in this video. It's now grown to over 500 liveries spanning 23 different aircraft as of the creation of this video. And they've changed the way that you download it and are now using Discord. I suspect they're using Discord because of the size of the zip file now exceeds 5 gigabytes and about 24 gigabytes unzipped. Something to bear in mind is that data that is stored in your community folder will impact your load times. The more items you have in here, such as liveries and scenery mods, will increase the sim startup time. You'll need to set up an account on Discord to get the Megapack now. Once that's done, you'll need to click on the download link from the page I link in the description. That link takes you to their homepage, then click on the Discord invitation link. That'll take you to the Discord where you're prompted to accept the Discord invitation. Once that is done, Discord will launch and present you with their servers page. On the left side, you'll find the channels for the Liveries Megapack section. The top link is the full Megapack that's over 5 gigabytes zipped. Under that, you'll find a section that offers a couple of curated subsets such as the A320 only pack. Under that is the Liveries Manager that I'll cover in the next section of this video. And following that is a nice template so you can create your own liveries using Photoshop or a similar application. And finally, a link to allow you to submit your own livery creations for inclusion in this collection. There's a link to my liveries installation guide video in the description, but the next item in our add-ins here is a livery manager, and this tool is a much better alternative method for you in doing this. There's also a link to the list of creators for the Megapack in the description that you can check out. A huge tip of the hat to all of these creators for all of the hard work they put into making these wonderful liveries for the community. I originally wondered why they hadn't broken up the liveries into multiple smaller files, but the Livery Manager tool that I profile next is why. Again, using the Discord method of obtaining this that I outlined in the previous section, this utility allows you to manage which of the liveries you install, and it eliminates the need to download the huge 5 GB Megapack onto your system. Unlike some other livery managers out there, this one is dedicated to the Liveries Megapack that you get from Discord as previously outlined. Liveries that you get from other locations or sources won't be managed by this utility. The Livery Manager will only download the liveries that you specify and will install them into your community folder for you. The current version doesn't appear to have a feature to allow you to remove them, so it looks like you'll have to delete any that you install manually, but that's a reasonable compromise, and I suspect they might add that feature in the future. I've downloaded the installer to my desktop here, and I'll double-click it to open it up. You may get a security warning about the install, but the application is malware-free, so go ahead and allow the install. We're presented with a splash page followed by this page where the application has correctly identified where my community folder is located, as you can see from this Explorer window here. We click Next to do the install and finally finish, and the Livery Manager launches. We get this home page with any news about the livery system status. At the top, we have available liveries, and this presents a nice list of the liveries that are in the Megapack organized by aircraft. We have a page that lists which liveries we have installed, and a settings page with a single setting element, which is the location of our community folder. Returning to the available liveries screen, we're presented with a list of liveries organized by aircraft and indicators to show how many liveries are available and how many are installed for a given aircraft. Clicking on an aircraft displays a thumbnail for it and a list of liveries from which to choose. You could click on individual liveries and select them, or click here and select all. The utility will present an indicator of how many are currently selected and how much space they'll take on your system. Clicking the Install button will cause the utility to download and install the selected liveries like this. We get a notification that the install is completed. Looking at the community folder, we can see that indeed all of the liveries that I selected have been installed. It also now indicates how many liveries for this aircraft we have currently installed. There are also thumbnails of each livery where available that you can look at like this. Back on the aircraft listing, there's also a refresh button at the top to force the utility to fetch the current list of liveries from the server and refresh the list. This is an excellent alternative to downloading the huge 5 GB Liveries Megapack, as well as a nice way to track which ones you've got installed. I highly recommend using this instead of downloading the Megapack. And finally, we have the open source LittleNavMap utility written by a German gentleman by the name of Alexander Barthel. This utility allows you to use OpenStreetMap for the areas that you fly in FS2020, as well as bring up accurate and current airport maps so that you can more easily find out the layout of a given airport. It also shows the correct airspaces, its runways and taxiways and ramps. You can use it to create accurate flight plans, calculate altitude for ascent and descent points in your flight plans, aircraft performance, fuel usage, and much, much more. Excellent searching features for finding locations in the world, as well as the ability to place airport traffic patterns or holdings as a visual guidance on the map. This is a truly comprehensive navigation and flight planning tool. While this utility doesn't specifically list FS2020 compatibility on Alex's website, it will indeed work with FS2020, but you'll need to download and install Alex's companion SimConnect application, and you can get that from a link in the description of this video. This is a really slick application. Alex provides excellent support for it as well. If you use this app, please consider a donation to his website, as Alex has put a crazy amount of time and effort into this application, and it really shows. A comprehensive deep dive into LittleNavMap really deserves a video of its own. If you're interested in a complete tutorial video on this application and its use with FS2020, please comment on the video and let me know, and if there's enough demand for it, I'll certainly get one made for you folks. Well, that wraps up our look at another top 7 add-ons from Microsoft Flight Simulator FS2020. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, please give it a like, as that really helps the video. I'll see you all in the next video, and until then, take care.